We're originally funded by state and federal dollars, and we're governed by a board of directors with various types of conservation background. So in 2016, we received an NRCS grant. We were one of 9 states that received $800,000 to continue wetland mitigation on agricultural land. We've been doing this for a long time before we received the grant. We already had 2 wetland banks that were happening, and so the NRCS grant program was really modeled around our success that we had in Iowa. So there's basically 2 sides to this program. It's a lot like what you heard earlier from Bob with NRCS, but our process is a little easier. Sorry, Bob. We don't have an application process. We allow everybody. And we have lots of money, and we have it right now. So basically there's 2 sides of it. So as a producer, you have a wet spot in your property, and you want to get rid of it. You need to mitigate that. So you can call me up, and whether it's a ½ acre or 10 acres, I can help you mitigate it. I have wetlands all over the state, and you can buy mitigation credits from me. They're agricultural mitigation. There's a difference between a commercial bank and an agricultural bank. Ag banks only deal with NRCS. Commercial banks deal with the Army Corps of Engineers. So that process is a lot easier. So that's the first side of it. If you want to tile, dry up a wet spot, farm it, I can help you do that. Basically, the process starts with a wetland determination from your local NRCS office. I'm sure you all already have one of those because most producers do. So then the other side of it, you have 10 acres that you don't want to farm because it's constantly wet all the time. I can come in, purchase that with a permanent easement like Bob talked about. You still own the property. We decide on a price per acre, and I pay to restore that property. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You just can't put trees on it or plant anything on it again. So it's a lot like the other NRCS program, but again, we don't have an application process. We're looking for banks right now. We're actually all out of credits. So since we've started, we've closed 6 agricultural mitigation banks, and I've sold 237 credits. So there is a lot of tiling that's happening in the state, and we're just trying to help producers, fix their problem. The other thing is that, you know, this is an alternative to, when you buy credits from me, it's an alternative, so you don't have to put a wetland, you don't have to mitigate it yourself on your property. That's a lot of paperwork, and it's a lot harder where you can just come to me, write me a check, and I can make your problem go away in less than a week. Maybe 2 days. I don't know. I did a deal once in a Casey's parking lot. Kind of felt dirty afterwards, but we got it all done. Our process, it's like every program. It's confusing. There's a lot of, it's not necessarily red tape, but there's, everybody has questions about a lot of things. So back there's koozies, there's a brochure, and my card is in it. If you have any questions about, what it is, what we do. So I don't want to stand between you guys and dinner, and I know there's another speaker after me. Do you have any questions about either part of it?
Let me make sure. So you have 2 sides of the coin.
Yep.
One of which, if you have a wet spot, you can either take away that problem with all the water and farm it again,
mm-hmm.
or you can take it and make it a wetland. Is
Yep.
that right?
Yep.
And you do that a lot quicker and easier and have more money than everyone else, right? Is that
We're working off a grant. We don't have an application process. But fortunately, our grant is from NRCS, so thank you. We do appreciate that. It's just, they're both really great programs. It's just different. We also have in-house engineers that can design everything. Just a little, it's a different type of process. It's not necessarily better, it's just different. So, yes?
Will this apply to new landowners who inherit land that probably should have add some grass strips, doesn't, it's wet.
Yeah, it can apply to anybody. And to be honest, it doesn't, it just has to have a cropping history. It doesn't have to, I think it's within the last 10 years that it has to have been farmed.
And let's say I took an acre out in expanding my waterways. How would that pan out? Or,
Like if you want an acre tiled?
no, of a grass waterway. Would that doesn't apply?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. No. No, so it's property that was previously farmed.
Right.
And so, you know, we're looking for probably the smallest. We just did a 7 acres of a restored wetland. I probably don't want to go less than that, only because I sold those 7 acres in 2 days. So, you know, 10 or more, and it can be up to 100 that we're looking for as well. So, yeah. So I guess, yeah, a little bit more than that 1 acre. So.
Well, you've been in business since 2010.
Yeah. Yep.
So in the last 9 years, how many projects have all these different types have you done?
We've done 6. Our first 2 wetlands were over 60 acres. They were bigger, and it took us a long time to sell through the credits. But just since receiving this grant in 2016, we've done 4.
Okay.
Yep.
So you said you did how many projects?
6. Yep. So, yeah. So.
And if you, with the money you have, how many projects do you think you can do?
Can we
going
do?
Forward?
Quite a few. I mean, we were around before we received an NRCS grant, and we'll be around after. You know, there's funding that's possibly going through the Farm Bill that has been set aside, but we'll still be around. I work for a company called EOR Iowa, and so we contract through them for Iowa Ag. But you know, Penny's been a part of this process since the beginning, and it's been extremely successful, and I don't foresee us going anywhere because I really like my job.